Hello, everybody. This is Grace on a Journey, and you are listening to Angelic Healing Express. Welcome to the newcomer, and to those of you returning, my fellow travelers. Welcome back. We are happy to have you. We love, we share, we learn, we grow, we laugh, we forgive, we improve, we self-care. I am feeling good about being called to connect with you so soon, as I wasn't sure when I would be asked to reconnect with you. As I've shared with you before, I follow the schedule that I am provided when it comes to connecting with you and sharing with you and learning and growing together. I've shared that I have angelic assistants that assist me with fulfilling my duties. And I'm looking forward to this episode. I feel it will be an opportunity for all of us to grow. So, I've been receiving messages throughout the day regarding what the next topic would be and what I need to bring to your attention. I have so much to say. I am deciding in what direction I want to go first. I can start with the title. The title is Rewrite Your Story. And the reason why this title was presented to us is to assist all of us with the direction of our lives. I was going to say with the direction of this year, but I was redirected to say the direction of our lives. Because we continue to grow beyond 2024. And as we grow, we are required to revisit our steps regarding the decisions that we've made, analyzing what works and what doesn't work. In doing so, we grow wiser, we make better decisions, and we are more equipped to help and teach by the way we live our lives. A teacher is not based on a degree that you've received. The best teachers are those that share what they've learned academically, but also share what they've learned through the school of life. Every teacher that I've ever encountered in my life, I always remember a lesson that they taught me. One of the first teachers that come to mind, I'm laughing because this is funny. I was in the 2nd grade, and I had a teacher who did something to me that you would never expect a teacher to do. Because teachers have a leadership role. And because she wasn't pleased with me, she lied on me. She lied on me. So at that age, I believe I was 7. And when I contacted her, or connected to her rather, and asked her why she lied to my mom about something concerning me, she didn't deny it. She just said, yeah, I did do that. I did that because I wanted to teach you a lesson. I'm laughing because I never ever went back to that. I've never processed that until connecting with you guys this evening. And it makes me laugh that one of my earliest lessons in life was just because somebody has arrived at a position or has a certain title does not make them trustworthy. I was only 7. And I'm just understanding how early that lesson was brought to my attention. I remember my 1st grade teacher, because I shared my 2nd, but my 1st grade teacher, what I learned from him is if I make a stand, heard a confirmation, if I make a stand, that it will be respected. And I say this because of an experience I shared. I was in a private school, and my family did not subscribe to that religion, but they sent me there to provide me an opportunity to be bilingual, because it was an American school, but we were also taught French in New York. And I recall having a ring on my finger. And that religion in particular, they don't believe in wearing jewelry. But at that tender age, I was not aware of their decisions and what was legalized and what not in that setting. And obviously my parents didn't have a problem with it. And I recall one of the students raising their hand and saying, "Do you notice that Grace has a ring on her finger?" She raised her hand and she said that out loud in front of the students and the teacher. And I recall the teacher stating, "Yes, I noticed it. You know, it's her decision if she wears it or not." And I received feedback that from the other students, "Well, my mom told me if you wear rings, then what ends up happening," I'm trying to recall the exact words that I was told. "What ends up happening is that a demon will come get you by way of your finger. If you wear a chain, a demon will come get you by way of your neck. If you wear earrings, they'll come." You know, all of this type of... I have a word, but I'm going to reserve that word because I'm not trying to offend anybody's religion. But this was to share the lesson I learned from that experience, which is it was my decision to wear the ring. And so I did. And I became a target because I did. And I noticed some changes happening with the student body and the relationship that I had with them. I was experiencing a lot of people tattletaling, like, "Grace is talking. Grace is not doing her work. Grace this, Grace that." And strange as it was, because I believe it was illegal to hit children in the school system at that time. And I was called up front, and he used a ruler on my hand and asked me to apologize for my behavior. And in my 6-year-old brain or head, I was telling myself, "You already hit me with a ruler, and I refuse to apologize on top of it." I was 6 years old. I refused, because even if I got in trouble with my parents, they were not going to ask me to apologize on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Either you apologize or you get a spanking, right? So, "Are you ready to apologize?" I said, "No, I'm not going to apologize." So he made me go stand outside for a while. Maybe 15, 20 minutes. Came back in the classroom. Are you ready to apologize? No, I refuse to apologize. And I went outside again. Eventually, he was tired of sending me outside. You know, he overdid it, and I took a stand. Right? I took a stand because I knew when it all started. I was being discriminated against because of my free will. I chose to wear jewelry. And it's funny when I think about it because I was only allowed to wear bracelets and rings my entire childhood. My ears were pierced very early on. But because my mother converted from one religion to the other, things got shuffled around. So I didn't grow up wearing pants, and I didn't grow up wearing earrings or chains, necklaces, whatever you want to call it, and so forth. So it's kind of ironic that I would get targeted for wearing jewelry when I didn't wear much of jewelry. I began wearing jewelry when I started to make decisions for myself. That also goes with how I dress, the pants I wore. And all through my life, I noticed that I had to take stands. Like, I had to set the record straight. No, this is my right to do. You may decide you don't want to do it. It is my decision what I do with my body. I had someone very dear to me who's no longer with us, who saw me wearing pants, and because I went to her home, I'm not the type to hide what I do. I am who I am. Accept me or don't accept me. But especially in adulthood, I do not have the energy to pretend. That sometimes ruffles feathers because we live in a world where you need to conform, you need to people please, to be in harmony, and I don't bend that way. Lying about who I am, what I do, is dishonoring me. So I'm not in the business of that. So when I went to her home and she told me not to come to her house again if I'm wearing men's clothing, when I found these pants in the women's section of the department store, I decided to respect her boundary. At the time, I was exploring what I wanted to wear, what my style was, what I appreciated, and so forth. So I respected her boundary and I didn't step foot in her house. And after some months, she called me. You haven't come to see me in a while. Why? You never come to visit me. Why? I said, well, the last time we spoke, you said that I shouldn't come to your house if I'm wearing male's clothing. And I really don't have the energy to go home and change my clothes and then go to your house. So I respected your boundary. And it was through that experience she said, you know what? I would prefer you don't wear pants, confirmation. But I want to see you. I don't want us to be disconnected if that is your stance on things. See, sometimes in life you have to stand on your decision. If you don't feel convicted about it, you need to stand on your decision. You have rights. And so, as I was sharing, yes, in school, there was a whole world in relation to academia and so forth. But there were life lessons that I learned from my teachers. I shared first grade and I shared second grade. And I must say I have a great memory in that respect. But third grade, the lesson I learned was you will meet people in life that care about you enough to be on your back until you arrive at your potential. I remember getting promoted from third grade to fourth grade, and I had a teacher, my third grade teacher, who only spent half the year with me because she was on maternity leave. And so another teacher took her place. But she had interest in me. So when I was promoted to the fourth grade, she came to visit me in my classroom and noticed that there were a couple pages. Makes me laugh. A couple pages incomplete in my phonics workbook where you learn vocabulary and so forth. She said, why are these pages incomplete? Mind you, I'm no longer in a classroom. But she came to me in my new class. She just had interest in me. Some people just have interest in you. And she's like, I want these pages complete and I want you to bring them to me. And I want you to know that I am available to you because I know you can do it. I'm available to you even if you're not in my class. I'm available to you if you need help with phonics. I must tell you, if my vocabulary is extensive today, it stems from my third grade teacher. She taught me I care because even after I got promoted to the fourth grade, she said, you're not going to get rid of me. You're not going to get rid of me. I'm not going to give up on you. I'm going to keep pushing you until you do it. See, it's not that I could not do the work, but since a very young age, I had a very big imagination and I would daydream a lot and my mind would be everywhere, like racing thoughts and so forth. I was great at artistic projects and at play. I loved to play when I was a child. And although my household only had us two, my sibling and it's as if I grew up with many siblings, because I had many cousins that were always visiting. And so I want to say 80% of my childhood was spent outdoors. And I'm referring to my backyard. We were blessed in the sense of having everything we needed to enjoy our childhood. You know, I had the playground that the other kids in the neighborhood would want to come to. And I love the fact that I got to experience so much time outdoors, because it allowed me to connect in ways that influence who I am today. I love nature. I love being outdoors. I could go on and on. My 4th grade teacher taught me that there are many different ways someone can arrive at progress. But I had the capability of being I'm trying to choose my words. So detailed in what I submitted regarding my work. Always applauded my handwriting and my neatness and so forth. Like certain things that you wouldn't even think people would be noticing. She brought it to my attention. All of these things, all of these efforts, all of this input that these teachers had in my life assisted me in learning my potential, learning my strengths, learning that help will always be available to me if I look for it. At a very young age, I learned that people can abuse their power. That's in relation to one of my 5th grade teachers, where I don't believe she wanted to be a teacher. I believe she hated her job. If she would hear a pin drop, she would say, okay, the entire class is going to write 1,000, literally 1,000 times. I will follow directions, or I will not talk in class, or whatever it is. You know, that was pushing it. That was abusing her power. All of this to tell you that if you take the time to review your life and review these lessons, some of them can still serve you today. One of the reasons why we continue making mistakes in our lives and continue cycles that we could have moved beyond and patterns and stuff is because we don't slow down to reconnect to our evolution. There are lessons that you've already learned that are inside of you that you need to recall. It's almost as if there are moments or seasons in life where we need to be recertified in this lesson or that lesson. And so, even though you pass a lesson, you need to retain it in your memory. So when it comes back again, that you make the decisions that are appropriate for you, that will continue to help you in the direction of elevation. And my last year in elementary school, my teacher made me feel like I was special. I guess I was fortunate in the sense where majority of my teachers cared about me. And took the time to understand me and my capabilities, recognize my challenges, and didn't hold it against me. I feel I need to share something because it will allow me to heal a childhood wound I had, where I'm debating if I want to heal it out loud, because I could heal it privately, which I probably should. But there are certain experiences we've had as a child that still needs some TLC. There were times I just convinced myself that it's okay to share my story, because that's what I'm called to do. There were times where I felt rejected because of being picked last on a team. See, the teachers would pick 2 coaches from the student body, and they would be picking the students that they would want on their team. Whenever it came to certain activities, there were episodes, I should say, where I would be the last to be picked. See, children have certain issues. Mine was in relation to asthma. And so due to that, I was labeled. Well, if I pick her on my team, suppose she gets asthma. Suppose she can't keep up. Suppose this, suppose that. And I remember accepting that rejection would be part of the process. Rejection would be part of life. I learned that very early on, that rejection will be part of my life. And this is why when rejection occurs, I go with the flow. I don't fight it. It's not brand new to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm learning about who I am as I'm sharing with you right now, and why I behave in certain ways, and why I understand certain things, why certain things appear to be easier for me than others. And it has a lot to do with many lessons that I've learned earlier on in life. Right? I also felt very protected when it came to being in danger and so forth. Although I witnessed dysfunction in some respect, I felt very protected. Like I felt like I had security. I felt very secure in the sense where if I needed defense, I would have that. And that's why it is still important for me to feel secure in my circles and in my relationships, because regardless what it is in the world where I associate with others, my circle has always been safe, right? And I require it to remain that way. I learned that behavior, that we protect those that are part of us. At a very young age, I was told if my sibling ever got into any issue and I didn't assist him in protecting him, then I would get in trouble when I got home. And that taught me to be that way, not only with my siblings, but with my family, with my friends. It molded me into who I am today. So I'm very protective of those that I care about. I'm very supportive. I'm very caring, because that was my role as a big sister, you know. All this to say, you are who you are because of the experiences that you've had. When you take the time to go back and review, beginning from your childhood, you'll remember what will be of assistance today. Many of you heard the answers that you need are already inside of you. You've heard that from somewhere. That's mentioned a lot in many different circles, in many different settings. Everything that you need to know is already inside of you. And that's the truth. Part of me discovering what I was called to be, my soul's purpose, was going back to my childhood. Because I kept on asking God, like, what's my purpose? Like, I know I'm a healer. There's no doubt. That's what I've always been doing. I know I'm a teacher. There's no doubt. That's what I've always been doing. Majority of my jobs have been in helping careers, counseling, education, and so forth. But what is my soul's purpose? Some of you are right there. That is exactly where you are right now. What is my soul's purpose? And I was told, go back to your childhood. I remember having a conversation with my friend on the phone. I was telling him that I don't get it. What is that supposed to mean? Go back to my childhood. And I remember meditating one day, because I was told to go back to my childhood and remember what I first wanted to be. And it took me back to a memory I share with one of my cousins. Who's 3 months older than me. And I saw that she and I were sitting on my bed as a child, and we were listening to, I believe it was called, it's funny, well, I don't have to reveal the station's name, but we were listening to the radio, right? And then we decided to play a game. For some reason, I don't remember what she called herself, but I surely remember what I called myself. And we used to play as if we were DJs on the radio. And when I connected to that, I remembered the name that I gave to myself. It amuses me. Those memories amuse me. But it helped me to realize that my first I don't want to use the word effort, but my first attempt to do something that I could carry on to my adult life would be on the radio. And I said, oh, so that's what I was called to do. I'm supposed to be in communication. And then it went from there. Because when I realized that's what I'm called to do, because I was also told that you need to go back to your childhood and remember what you loved to do. Those were the exact words that I was told. What you loved to do. And that's what I loved to do. To be on the radio with my cousin, and we'd go back and forth, and I'd play certain songs and she'd play certain songs, and I'd have my period of sharing some words, and she had her period of sharing some words. Something I loved to do. We loved music. And once I learned that, I began to take steps at putting myself out there, right? On social media. And sharing messages that I couldn't believe I was sharing. But I was channeling these things. And I had many people that thought many things about me, like something is up. This is not her. She's changing. And also due to certain rumors that were created and smearing campaigns and so forth, I dealt with a lot of persecution, ridicule, and so forth. But I kept going because that is what would align me with what I was called to do. And I believe I'm sharing all of these things with you because before I connect with you, I prepare. Right? I meditate. And I have material that I'm asked to share with you, like certain verses, certain prayers, channeled songs and stuff. I'm amused about the channeled song that was revealed to me today, but the message that song gave me was some of you have some degree of shyness that is in your way of fulfilling your soul's purpose. That is the message that I received from that song. It's not one of the best songs, but it was the channeled song. And I was surprised to see it due to one of the featured artists. One of the featured artists that is one of my favorite artists. Because I was like, why is she with him singing that song? Like, do you know who you are? the mix wasn't working, but I got the message. The message was that some of you have to overcome your issue with shyness. And so the message I have for you is to take baby steps, right? Leave your comfort zone little by little and get where you need to go in order for you to align yourself. You can do it. I'm hearing you can do it. Now, I don't want to neglect the prayer I was asked to share with you, which is, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now, I was also asked to share a personal devotion with you for you to meditate on your own time. Kind and gracious God, you know my weaknesses and my strengths. You are aware of my tendency to do things I should not do and neglect the things I should. Support me by your power to resist my attraction of evil and submit my life to your holy will. I'm just reading some of this meditation, but I'm going to stop it there because I have a lot to share with you. Some word of encouragement to those of you still in the struggle. At the voice of thy cry, when he shall hear it, he will answer thee. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth and delivereth them out of their troubles. Confirmation. I pray that those words of encouragement will help you on your journey. Now, what I'm about to share is confirmation. I received a message that some of you are called to speak for those in trouble or anxiety. I'm going to repeat this. Some of you are called to speak for those who are in trouble or anxiety. So to be somewhat of an advocate. I'm called to say it out loud. I know one of my missions in this life is to be an advocate for those who have been ritualistically abused. In fact, that will be a big part of my story. Which brings us back to today's title, Rewrite Your Story. Many of you have experienced people who tried to write your story for you by way of cursing you. You're going to be just like this person. You're never going to be anything. You can't do this. You'll never succeed at this. You need me to do this. And my message to you is, if you're not satisfied with your life, you need to inquire about it. Now, that is not an approach that those of us that have been programmed do automatically. Because we were programmed to hesitate, for lack of a better way of expressing it, hesitate on how far we go to derive knowledge. Oh, you should not do divination. You should not A, B, or C. We're saying we should not. And at the same time, we open our holy book and we say, whatever page that it falls on is the message that God is giving me. Those with ears will hear. And you'll understand that comparison. It's all about intention. If you connect with what is holy, if your intention is to live righteously, if your intent is to receive wisdom, truth, and clarity, my question is, why is God in opposition with that? Why would God be in opposition with your attempt to develop yourself and to arrive at your soul's purpose? We need to examine more what we do, why we're doing it, and who is the source of these legalistic activities that are being presented to us. How will it benefit us? How will it be a disservice? We need to think with every step that we take. I'm hearing every baby step that we take. The message I'm called to present to you now is religion is religion, and spirituality is spirituality. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. In this human experience, you may have adapted to a religion of your choice. It may be due to birth or attraction in your later years. But spirituality is what we are. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We stress self-care every day. We apply self-care in the direction of our mental health. We apply self-care in the direction of our physical health. We apply self-care even in the direction of our emotional health. When is it an opportune time to begin to apply self-care regarding our spiritual health? Why isn't it pertinent for us to meditate? Why are we having such a difficult time with sitting down and going within? I'm very thankful that all of this food for thought is being provided to us at the beginning of the year, because it will assist us in moving forward, in choosing wisely. Our choices will set our destiny, one choice at a time leads to one step at a time. If you're not satisfied with your life, it is your responsibility to take the steps that are aligned with your soul's purpose, fueled with the energy of love and universal law. There is no way to cheat and arrive at ascension by stealing or paying or sacrificing. Please learn the lessons that you were provided. Review them. because those lessons will be tested. There are no coincidences in life. Those of you that were just spectators witnessing the result of abusing somebody that was just called to serve the community, and the consequences that followed, please believe me, it wasn't a coincidence that you witnessed this. You will share about this. Your children will know about this. They will share about this. You will remember this. And it will influence your future decisions in life, in how you interact with groups, how to apply wisdom in your life, how to consider every perspective, how to protect yourself. How to overcome the disease to please. Some of you feel you must say yes, you must conform, you must follow the crowd. And some of you have been delivered from that due to witnessing these psychic attacks. That were sent in my direction. And I'm being told to speak on my truth, which is, although some of you are just accepting the truth that I was providing all of these years, I have been sharing the truth, and I want that acknowledged. You don't have to call me to acknowledge it. You don't have to talk to me to acknowledge it. But I want you to acknowledge it in your psyche that when someone is asking for help, when someone continues to repeat, I'm enduring abuse, it needs to stop. Karma is real. That we need to stop turning away from that. We need to stop ignoring that. We need to start investigating that. We need to consider, what if that was me? What if that was my daughter? What if that was my grandson? All of this is to help you to fill in the blanks, because many of you have not absorbed even half of the lessons that were provided through this entire ordeal. And it is not meant to be in vain. Confirmation. Our connection is not in vain. There are lives that have been changed. People's morals that have been changed. People's values that have been changed. You are being distracted in order for you not to provide your spiritual being with the tender love and care that it needs. Why is it that we hear that we have inner children with wounds, and we allow that to go in one ear and come out the other? Why is it we hear about shadow work to be done, and it comes in one ear and comes out the other? And we continue to repeat cycles. Our generations are not progressing. Yet, envy is part of the picture. Jealousy leads to misunderstanding. And the spirit of stagnation is causing havoc. Lack of progress is due to lack of knowledge and the application of it. It doesn't matter how much you study it. How are you applying it into your life? I welcome those of you that go to school and get degrees. But don't forget the school of life. Confirmation. Don't forget the bigger picture. Don't forget that your children are looking at you, and many of the mistakes that you've made in life could have been avoided in their life if you took the time to process them, learn the lessons that would have been able to heal them. And avoid them into falling into the same traps. One lesson that I am called to provide that is taboo for many is discrimination. Part of what I endured was due to discrimination. What was lost because of discrimination? Was it worth it? What are we teaching our children? Could our children fall into those same traps? Are we enforcing colorism in our households? And then we have the audacity to call on ancestors with tastes that you don't approve of. What ancestors are you calling on? What ancestors are you honoring? Do they all fit a certain complexion? Or is it a mixture of many? Is it the rainbow? Are we connected? So, is discrimination assisting us to attract empowerment into our lives? part of freeing ourselves from karma and downward spirals is being honest with ourselves. What caused us to arrive at the state that we are in life presently? What mistakes that we made? Are we okay with this happening again? Because if we do not connect the dots, it's time for us to accept it's going to happen again. Whatever you refuse to learn this time, you will learn next time. Whether it takes one next time, two next times, three next times, you will eventually get sick of it and learn it. Words of wisdom. I'm hearing words of prophecy. Most of us are raising children. So it's time to get our inner children in check. It's time to stop allowing our inner children to cause us to self-sabotage in life. It's time to recognize that a lot of us are adult children and that we need to seek intervention by connecting with fellow adult children that are healing on their journeys. There are groups that you can attend with fellow adult children due to alcoholism in the household or any or every other dysfunction. Stop allowing the past to dictate your future. I'm being told just to be the mouthpiece, but excuse myself from being the motivator and preserve my energy. And that's telling me that some of you will make wiser decisions and some of you will not. That's what that's telling me. And I've accepted that. I want you to begin to think of what lesson did your life teach others? There are many people, if I just mention their names, you will say, the lesson his life taught me was such and such. The lesson her life taught me was such and such. Are you important in your book? Have you been working on the lesson that you're leaving for humanity? Because a lot of you are working on fighting for a crown. Your priorities are not in line. You need a message before you get a crown. I have many messages that I'm leaving behind when it is my time. One of them that I'm very proud of is, yes, I can. I'm very proud of it. Yes, I can. It doesn't matter the opposition. It doesn't matter the naysayers. It doesn't matter those that curse. It doesn't matter the plotting. It doesn't matter the ruining of reputations. It doesn't matter. Because I matter. I matter, and those that I love, that love me back, matter. Yes, I can. Those that wanted to take control of your life, those that wanted to be God in your life, no, you can't. You can't be God in my life when you can't even be God in your life. You don't have it together. Get it together. And once you get it together, keep it together. No, you can't. Some of the insane have been walking wild and trying to enslave people. Not enslave slaves, but enslave people. They are people before they are enslaved. No, you can't. I heard that confirmation. I heard my ancestors. They're in that energy. Try it and deal with it. That's what I'm hearing. You don't have to believe in anything I believe, but you can witness and see for yourself. Oh, there's no such thing. These ancestors, they don't know anything. They're not able to connect to us. They're already in heaven. They're already in hell. They're already... Then what have you been witnessing all of these years? As you gang stalk. Oh, these angels aren't real. They can't do anything. She's not right in the head. She doesn't have any contact with the spirit world. She doesn't know. She's faking it. Then what have you been witnessing these past couple of years? You see, when I was told I was crazy, I rewrote my story. When I was told I could not contact my ancestors, I rewrote my story. When I was told I do not have angels, I need to seek professional help, I rewrote my story. I'm hearing a song right now.